everybody, Smart Silver Stacker here. Starting yesterday and continuing on today, we are seeing a big rally in the price of silver. So what's going on? What's causing this price movement? And what does it mean for the future? Well, let's talk about it. But first, if you guys enjoy these videos about the economy, inflation, and stacking precious metals like gold and silver, then please click that like button down below, and while you're at it, why not subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this one? So we had a big rally in silver yesterday, and so far the gains are actually continuing in today's trading session. We're up over the $24 level, and perhaps the most interesting thing about this movement up in the price of silver is that it is occurring against a backdrop of falling stocks. All of the major indexes were down yesterday. They're all down so far today. And yet silver and also oil, importantly, is moving up, and even gold is catching a bid today. And this is all coming on the heels of some disappointing economic news that we got yesterday in the form of the Empire State Manufacturing Index. This is an index that came out significantly below estimates, and really it's the type of news that you would expect to see in a recession. And keep in mind that this is just as the Fed is only now talking about beginning to tighten. The Fed has not actually raised rates yet. They haven't really done any significant tightening. They've only said that they will do so in the future and that they are planning on doing it. And already we are getting indications of a weakening economy. You know, one of the trends that we saw occur over and over the past 2 years is that every time inflationary data and news would come out, we would actually see the precious metals fall in price. And of course, this is kind of contrary to what you would expect would happen, but the reason was that as investors saw inflation rising, they believed that the Fed would be taking action to get inflation under control as a result. And so they were selling the metals in anticipation of tighter monetary policy and a decline in inflation. But what have we actually seen? The Fed, yeah, they've paid a little bit of lip service to inflation. They've admitted that it's no longer transitory.
So I think the word transitory has different meanings to different people. I think it's probably a good time to retire that word and try to explain more clearly what we mean.
But they've really done nothing meaningful to get it under control, and they're not going to be able to. This data that we just got, the Empire State Manufacturing Index, it was far below expectations. In December, this index came in at 31.9, and it was expected to fall to 25.7. But instead, it actually fell into negative territory, and it came in at negative 0.7. So this drop is much larger than expected, and this is the first time that the index has fallen into negative territory since June of 2020. And if this is the kind of weak economic data that we are getting now, what's going to happen when the Fed actually begins to raise rates? All the speculative bubbles that have grown over the past decade are going to begin to deflate even more rapidly. And when that happens, I don't care who's in office or who's in charge of the Fed, there's going to be absolutely no political will for continued tightening. In fact, it's going to be quite the opposite. If the economy continues to weaken and we see asset values continue to decline, the Fed is going to have to reverse course, and rather than tightening, they're going to have to stimulate even more than they have in the past. This time around, the Fed's going to have to pull out all the stops, because one thing that we've seen with these episodes of monetary stimulus is that in order for them to have the effect that the Fed wants them to, they have to be an order of magnitude larger than the previous rounds of stimulus. And folks, the last round of stimulus that we got was really big. So the next time markets take a downturn, and that's coming, in my view, probably sooner rather than later, we may actually already be seeing the beginning of that. There is going to be an absolute tidal wave of fiat currency that is created to prop up these markets. And listen, none of this is investment advice, but you really want to get into hard assets like gold and silver before that event occurs. Because this rotation out of overpriced speculative assets like meme stocks and cryptocurrencies and into hard inflation hedging assets like oil, gold, and silver is only getting started. And when investors realize that the Fed is stuck and that it's actually powerless to deploy the tools that it needs to get inflation under control, this rotation is going to accelerate in a big way. And, like I said, none of this is investment advice, guys. I'm just telling you what I'm doing and what I think. But as for me, with the state of the economy being what it is and what's coming down the pipeline, in my view, I want to get my hands on more of this stuff. And if any of you watching have a different view of what's going on, please let me know in the comments below. I always love comments, whether they agree with me or, I actually kind of prefer the ones that disagree with me because it challenges my thinking on things and might give me a new perspective. So if you disagree and you think that something else is going on here, please let me know in the comments below. And if you would like to see more videos about stacking gold and silver, then check out these videos right here. And thank you all very much for watching. I will catch you next time. Smart Silver Stacker, out.